Welcome back. It's your boy T Hill. I'm throwing down my review for Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. I love this game. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Long game, lots of content. But let's hop into the review. Gameplay. Gameplay is important to any game, period. And I'd have to say that Kingdoms of Amalur has great gameplay. Just let's start off with deep skill tree. That just tons and tons of options. You can play your character however you want. There's so many different kind of buffs for your weapons, attacks, and spells, then defense. There's just a good deep variety that you can expect from any kind of action RPG or RPG, let alone. Combat is just top for an action RPG. You really feel like every swing you do, every block you do is all you. It's not scripted, and it's definitely not a turn-based game, of course. But it just feels so rewarding when you're doing a good combo, or when you get into a really bad situation, defending and countering and parrying and switching up between your types of attacks. It's really rewarding. There's a wide variety of weapons, spells, and armor that allow you to have a very unique and distinct type of character that you're playing with. Weapons range from swords and daggers and staves and staffs to scepters, hammers. It's just great swords. You get a good variety, and plus they all have a really nice look to them. There's a gem system that allows you to forge sagecraft gems and put them in your armor and your weapons, so that way you get added boosts, whether it's defenses or increases your ability to do damage with fire or whatever. I think they just range from fire, ice, lightning, and poison. I didn't see anything outside of that, but then there's so much that in this game it would have taken me forever to play every single piece of it. There's a choice wheel. There's two of them. There's a choice wheel for when you're having a dialogue section, and it's nice because if you really push on the persuading skill set, you can use it to increase your chances of kind of persuading somebody to do what you want them to do. But you can also do the defaults, which are just kind of be nice or be a dickhead. So there's a good variety there. There's also a radio wheel for quick item select. Instead of having to constantly go into the menu and then select an item, you can preset them to your radio wheel and pick them on the fly, which is it's good, so that way you don't break the immersion of combat too much. Let's see what else. Like I said in the graphics portion, this has an enormous world to explore. Tons of towns, tons of dungeons, tons of just world. It will take you a long time to explore everything this game has to offer. And in this world, a lot of big open worlds feel kind of empty. That's not the case. There's lots of NPCs that you'll find, of course, in towns, in dungeons, and just scattered throughout the world. You'll be going down a alley, not an alley, but a random field or whatever, and you'll come across a random person who's either fighting beasts in the wilderness, and that is cool. That you're not just free range on the world and it's empty other than monsters. You actually come across people. So there's two types of chests that you come across, and they may look aesthetically different, but there's the lock-picking chests, and not all of them. There's some that are unlocked, but there are those that are lock-picking, which you have to go through this little mini-game prompt and either break your little lock-pick or succeed and open it up. Or there's the magic, curse chest, and you can go through the mini-game prompt, which is hitting these little orbs, timing it right, and avoiding these little cluster ball magic things. Or you can, if you build up your ability to dispel, you can break the spell that's on that chest and open it up and get all the goodies without running the risk of hurting yourself. There's tons of quests, tons and tons and tons of quests that I really, really enjoyed, and they're all so much story to each and every single one of them. I loved it. It's just great fun that every single side quest you take, aside from the main campaign, has a good story. You connect with the characters. You are kind of on a little rabbit hole chase. You're going down this little rabbit hole chasing after this quest, and before you know it, you've spent a couple hours and you feel connected to this piece of the story. Plus, there's always good rewards at the end of it. There's a fate card system. So on top of all the little skill trees that you already can build up. There's a fate card system, Twist of Fates. What happens is you unlock more, but you have your presets where you can do like warrior, rogue, and mage, and then there are combination fate card sets, which is like a sorcerer and a warrior mix, and you get specific stat boosts or abilities based on the fate card you're working with, and you can level them up and get higher grades of that fate card set. As you also play through the game, you will unlock new fate cards, graphics. It's smooth running. For the most part, this game runs butter smooth. I loved how absolutely smooth the game runs. The set pieces are just enormous. They're just huge, huge, huge set pieces. And they're all over the place. Everywhere throughout the game, there's just monster-sized set pieces. Speaking of, the set pieces, even though they're really nice, what really sells them is the great art direction. Everything is so stylized. It has a very, very unique charm. After seeing games like Skyrim, everything is going for the photorealistic, and the fun thing about Kingdoms is it's not. Reckoning is not about like this photorealistic world. It has a nice art direction that's very colorful. Every environment you go to has this great palette to it. The high quality character models. For a game this big, I have been thoroughly impressed that the graphics are able to hold up so well, and that the character models just look so well done for this huge, huge world. Animations. The animations when fighting are butter smooth. They just look really well done, just animated just perfectly. Sound and music. Wow, I loved sound and music in this game. The music matches the elegant set pieces. I just can't stress that enough. Every time you come to open valley or a scene with these crazy waterfalls or these spiring rocks that just stretch out all over, amazing to look at, amazing to take in, just gorgeous, gorgeous pieces. And the music captures the intensity and the feel of what's going on in the game. You really get caught up in that world, and the music captures it so perfectly. The voice acting is really good for the most part. There's only one little issue I have with the voice acting, and that's the big boss, Gadflow. His voice just doesn't seem, in just my take, doesn't seem to fit his voice. But for the most part, everyone's voiced. All the NPCs are voiced. They all sound really good. The voice acting's really good. The cool thing about like the spells and weapons is that everything has so much weight and impact. It feels visceral. The magic and the weapons, the swing of the weapons, or when they clash into somebody or bang into somebody, just sounds so beefy and heavy. It feels like you've got some weight behind it, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. Also, the enemies give off these, you can hear them in the distance, like say if you're in a dungeon, you can hear them just giving off these shrieks, and it is freaky. It is freaky. And sometimes you can hear them when you're like going over this nice, beautiful field. You'll hear them around a bend or over a hill, and that will give you like really nice cues. And they all sound like how you would expect a monster or a beast of that kind to sound. There's nothing out of place. It all just sounds really good. Final verdict, if you are looking for a deep RPG to get into, you've got to go pick up Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. It's a nice change of pace. The action is tight. Graphics are gorgeous. Beautiful set pieces. The best I have seen in the industry. I mean, these are awe-inspiring. If you felt like you loved Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or any of those kind of fantasy worlds, you will fall in love with these set pieces. These are the top of the industry. And if you're just looking for a really long, deep, content-filled game, Kingdoms of Amalur has it in spades. You definitely need to go check it out. You can always check out more of our content on gamerswagger.com. I'm out. Peace.